So, with what Hamas did a couple weeks ago, you're not going to have major populations having your back if you go and kill, rape innocent civilians. You're not going to have the major backing of civilized people, because it's just like the mass shooters, or like 9/11 terrorist happenings, whatever. What happens is people get scared, and they think, well, that could happen to me, and attacking just regular people. I mean, this isn't the old times where people used to go rape and pillage and kill everyone in a village, and that was more socially acceptable. Things were barbaric back then. We're not in barbaric times anymore. We might go back to it if we go Mad Max. I don't think so, but people you're not going to get most people's backing with that. So with like the problem with what they did is, it's like attacking a baby. It's like me just going and beating up a baby or a 95-pound woman. Like, you're attacking people that can't defend themselves. Most people are not cool with that, because it's just not. We're not in the jungle no more. We have, or it's like a lion. You just go take whatever you want, eat or be eaten. We're not in that no more. So like, civilized people aren't going to back you. But and this is still, let me say this to people in the region who are pissed off at some people, is you need to go if you're gonna go after somebody, you need to go after the elites. Because if Hamas, maybe it wasn't Hamas, maybe it was another group, if they would have attacked the Rothschilds, the Soroses, these elite rich families, and they just wiped them off the face of the planet, their entire family, I'm sorry to say that, if they wiped those people out, I would be backing them. Because I hate those people. Those people are completely evil, and you would have more support. But since you're attacking innocent people, and I can't say that I'm like for the backing of hurting kids. When I say like their family, you can like take out, I mean, it's just like when you're in that type of situation, anything goes. But these people are the ones who are the root problem, who are the root cause, who are causing all the problems in the world. They're sitting back in their little bubbles. They don't have to deal with it. They have security. But if you people who and mind you, this has nothing to do with race, because everything is so especially if me saying you people. What I meant by that is, you're in a different culture, people in a different culture than mine. I know it sounds radical, dude. But if you was to attack those elite people, there would be more backing for you. You know, when it comes to Palestine and Israel, I'm not picking a side. That's not my, I think it's horrible. I think that war is horrible. I think that violence is horrible. I think violence is necessary in certain circumstances when it comes to self-defense or somebody trying to enslave me. I mean, if you guys would have taken out Klaus Schwab, these big elites over there, you take them out. And, you know, hey, I didn't know if you guys knew this, but they all meet up at the same, they meet up in one place. They all meet up together once a year. I mean, I'm just saying, I don't know why Putin hasn't done nothing about it, but I mean, they're all one area, one space. You know, I don't have these people are foreigners. They're not Americans. I mean, I think that Soros is a part American, but like, you're in a different country, man. You're not in America. So I can say what I want. I can say what I want, dude. I'm not saying anything about people attacking people in my country, but I'm saying, like, hey, if you're gonna go to that extreme where you're gonna attack innocent people, if you're gonna do that, then you might as well went for the big fish and cut the head off the snake, man. That's what you guys should have done, and that's what you guys still could do. I hate these people. I hate the elites, man. I really do. I can't stand these people. They want me to go in the, you know, and some of their ideas are understandable. You know, like the central bank digital currency. I think that we do need better tracking when it comes to taxation. Companies, small companies that are hiring foreigners, illegals, to do work and paying them way less. Well, if you can't pay people, Americans, properly, then maybe you shouldn't be in business. I'm sorry to say, or do all the work yourself. I was also thinking about this yesterday. I think that a lot of businesses are failing and a lot of businesses are stagnant. I've worked at a lot of different jobs the last 5 years, 6 years. And I've noticed a lot of these managers are all the fucking same. They all lack social skills. A lot of these offices, they don't communicate well. I mean, we have some of the greatest communication. We have the greatest communications we've ever had, like devices and ways to communicate, but these people don't communicate well. And a lot of these people have went to college, and what happens in college is they want to indoctrinate you with communism. And that's how I look at unions. I look at unions as they are very communistic. I'm in a union. Fuck my union. I've already, like, when I was in this union before, not willingly, I had to by law if I wanted to work there. So a law changed where I could opt out of the union, and there was me and one other person that opted out. We were the first people to opt out. And I left a year later, but still, I was still one of the few. And then they changed the law where I'm at. Now I have to be in the union. Like, I started out at a job, small company, minimum wage. Well, they started out at 18. I look at that as minimum wage. I'm sorry, when you look at all the prices, my bills, minimum wage, man, it's not even, I can't even survive off a minimum wage. Federal minimum wage is $7.75. I want to see these politicians make that. That's what I want to see. They should all make that. Try to survive off of that. That'll never happen. But like, I didn't even say anything about my race, right? And I was pissed off, but I just kept on going. I kept on improving. I kept on gaining new skills. I got 13% raise when it came up. I didn't even ask for the raise, and I knew I was coming up with one. You know, they're doing an evaluation, and it's kind of like old school, like the way they were doing things. Oh, once a year we're going to evaluate the raise, even though, like, there's been a lot of inflation. But anyway, my productivity showed the value in that company, and that company decided to reward me with a 13% raise, which was higher than everybody else in that company. And most people only got like a standard of living increase, which was not a standard of living increase. It was based off of like old school, you know, like 2018 economy, like what, 2%, 3% inflation. At the time, the inflation was like 9-10%. Yeah, who the hell knows how high it was, but it definitely wasn't 2 to 3%. So it wasn't a cost of living, it was just like some scraps. And I got a 13% raise. So I jumped up, you know, like a couple extra bucks. And they made me a supervisor. So the union I currently work at, there's a top out pay, and there's no incentive to work harder. Companies need to have multiple ways to make money. The hourly pay should be for the lazy workers who don't want to put in any extra effort, just want to put in the bare minimum. But there needs to be other ways where there's incentives so people who work harder will benefit from it. Because I am not going to work hard for the company. And this is why communism fails, because nobody's going to work 100 hours a week unless they have a gun put to their head. Nobody's going to, for the benefit of the state, for the benefit of the government, nobody's going to work that hard. They're going to put in the minimum effort they have to put in, and that is it. That's it. They're not going to work harder. You have to have incentives so people will want to work harder. And in unions, it's, you know, what they typically do is, like, however long you're there, how many hours you put in, then you start getting raises. But I got to the point where I was topped out in my union, and I'm making the same as somebody else. And they literally, I was working with people that said, they bragged about not doing nothing all day. I couldn't just sit around and just do nothing all day. You know, if you pay workers hourly wages, like I said, they're going to do bare minimum. You're not going to get productivity out of them. If you want productivity, you're going to have to give incentives, but companies don't want to do that. And that's why you're going to see a lot of these companies fail, because they're still, oh, pay you hourly. Whatever, dude. Like, currently, where I'm at this time being, we do have hourly pay where I'm at, but I also have this, like, however fast I work, I get paid more. Typically, I can make around 23, 24, 25 bucks an hour. Something like that, based off of how hard I work. When I get put on hourly, I get knocked down like $4 or $5 an hour. And what do you think happens to my productivity? Because I'm extremely productive when I'm working for myself, and that's how I view it. I work for myself. I feel like I'm like a contractor. I feel like if I want to, I could just go work on my breaks and make more money. And my lunches. I am working for myself. But if I work for the company, which I view them as minimum wage, because that's what I was hired at, and like every 6 months, if I work so many hours, I get a 50-cent raise. Well, what is that going to do? That doesn't do nothing for me, man. It doesn't do nothing. There's no incentives for me to work harder when I'm hourly. And in fact, my productivity does drop significantly. And honestly, like too, if I keep my productivity high and they put me on hourly, my productivity might drop significantly. Because I just don't care. Like, I'm a rented worker. The only thing that I have invested in the company at that point, when I'm just an hourly worker, is I want to have a job tomorrow. And that's it. Like, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I don't care about making them extra money. I don't care about any of that shit. I don't care. Because it doesn't benefit me. It benefits me, I have a job tomorrow, but I'm not getting extra money in my bank account. I think that hourly should be available for people who want to put in the bare minimum, the lazy people, the bare minimum effort. But like, I think a lot of places need to reward people, and they need to have more incentives, whatever that incentive is. I'm looking at these strikes by these UAW members here, and it's just absurd what these auto unions are asking for. Essentially, they want to get paid $100K a year and only have to work 32 hours a week. Now, I understand why they're pissed, because when their CEO makes $30 million a year and got a 40% raise, that just shows, like, it's like a slap in the face. I don't think that the CEO should be making what I make. I think they should make a lot more, but they shouldn't be making 400 times more, 1,000,000 times more, whatever. Should be making that much more. I see many managers, many supervisors getting paid a lot more than me. They don't do shit. They don't do shit. And that's why I say, like, AI is going to replace them. And it might not. No, they just might, AI just might replace me. I guess it makes more sense for companies just to keep their mid-management, the people that don't really do anything, and instead of replacing them with software, which is probably a lot cheaper when it comes to AI, they would rather spend billions of dollars on hardware to replace more workers, I guess. And the funny thing is too, is there's like, okay, I think this is why people gravitate towards like mainstream media, is because they view those people as like way smarter than the average person. And a lot of times they're not, because if you have any type of awareness, and you think that college dictates intelligence, memorizing shit, it dictates intelligence, you definitely have zero awareness, because there's multiple factors when it comes to intelligence. I could be a person with 90 IQ and fix a freaking transmission, and you could be a person of 130 IQ and don't know what the hell, how to fix it. A lot of that comes from knowledge and just doing it, but you can't know everything. I can't know everything. Like there's all different types of intelligence, man. And that's what people like get wrong about a lot of things, is they think that there's only, especially the people on the left, they think there's only one type of intelligence. And then they feel all big, oh, I got my little degree. Like, nobody cares, man. Like, wait till you're slaving away and digging ditches because your degree is worthless. And in fact, like, I look at people with degrees, and I kind of look down on those people, man. And I'm not saying like people like that, you know, went for something smart, but you know, when I'm hearing at different places to be a manager, you gotta have like a 2-year business degree. Are you fucking for what? For what? Why do I have to have a business degree? For what? What does that do? Definitely, yeah, I can learn stuff, but I don't need a fucking business degree to be a fucking manager. Because I can learn all that shit on the fucking internet, man. Everything's going on the internet. And a lot of things, when it comes to education, are just going to be fucking free in the future. So what's the point for me to sit here and be indoctrinated by a college and take all these classes that had nothing to do with why I'm there in the first place, when it comes to like, oh, gender studies class, I gotta take this class that has nothing to do with whatever I majored in. Waste a couple years of my life just so I can get that piece of paper that's highly expensive, of the thought of some type of old school mentality of, oh, just get the degree and you'll be good. And that's where a lot of these kids have been lied to. I was pressured to go to college. I was pressured to go into the military. And life has been hard on me. Mostly because of the decisions I've made. If I had the upbringing of my kids, I would be in a completely different place right now. My kids probably would never even existed, honestly. I definitely, and maybe at some point they would exist, but I definitely wouldn't have married their mom. That's one thing. I would have let that go. I definitely wouldn't have been engaging with my ex-fiance at all. She would have been gone real fucking fast. We need, the problem with our society is what I've said 100,000 times. We need strong fucking fathers who will set a good example for the family, good example for the kids. And it seems like it's almost to the point where courts need to be more pragmatistic, and I think that the father probably should get custody over the mom, given the stats of what single fathers put out when it comes to their kids and how successful they are, opposed to women raising the kids by themselves. You can see that kids who are just raised by their moms tend to be more poor, end up in crime, have way harder and obstacles to endure in their life. And I don't want to hate on my mom. I'm not trying to hate on her, but I have childhood traumas I'm probably going to have to deal with for the rest of my life. And they weren't even that bad compared to a lot of the people. Like, I wasn't molested. As far as I know. I'm pretty certain I wasn't. I wasn't beaten. I mean, I did get punched in the stomach by my stepdad when I was 16, but I was acting out. Why do kids act out? You know, watch that movie. The World's Ending movie is like 2012. that movie. The dude Cusack, John Cusack's in it or something. Well, this is a movie, but this is good interpretation of how a family is. Now look at that kid. When you watch that movie, watch his son. His son is like rebelling against him. He don't want to be there. He's pissed at his dad because of the weakness, and he let his fucking family fall apart. Like when they're going camping, his young daughter's engaging and like singing with them on the way to go camping or whatever, and then the kid just sitting in the back listening to doing his own thing. He don't care. In my experience, kids end up acting out and rebelling against their parents is because their parents, especially their father, are fucking weak. And they have no leadership. You can see it. And you can, when you see that, you can see it in a lot of different areas. That's a great visualization for you to see. If watch that. I'm serious. Watch that. How that kid interacts. They do a phenomenal job of showing a broken family, how it affects the damn kid, and his attitude, pissed offness, the resentment that kids endure when their family breaks up. Is there any like, when we have like 40% of women on, or 25% of women on like antidepressants nowadays, probably because they've never been told no, probably because they never had any type of responsibility, and then they come into the real world and like they're a big boss woman or whatever, and then it's depressed. They gotta do men's work. But that's all I got for now.